Hey guys, Romie here, so please like, comment, subscribe. This is my review for Queen Sugar, Season 2, Episode 6, Line of Our Elders. And this episode, it hurt me at the end. So it starts off with Ralph Angel and Nova. They're there paying their respects to their family members. They're um, looking at this tablet, the stone tablet that has all the family members' names etched on it. And Charlie wasn't there because guess where she's at? She's at the Queen Sugar Mill. And Ralph Angel felt a certain way about that, but it's like, your sister's making history. Our sister's making history. Why are you being that way? Come on, chill out. So while Nova, she's there in in her father's old room where he conducted his business, so his office, what ended up happening is she sat in his chair and she got a little nosy. She opened up a drawer and it had like Shadow Enterprises. So she needed to go and figure out what Shadow Enterprises was. Ralph Angel, he's frustrated because things in the house are breaking and he's just like, oh, this is infuriating. But his life's going pretty good at the moment. Everything's starting to come together. Everything's starting to work out. We see that Charlie, she meets up with this news editor, this reporter that's not the person she wanted. She wanted someone, essentially by the name of Alan or something of the sorts. She gets this other guy, and this other guy is like, look, I want to focus on you, not your husband. And I said, okay, that's cool. So she sat down. As we know, Darla is interviewing, Darla's her assistant. And while Charlie was trying to do this interview, this guy was going in on her regarding, okay, so you and Davis, this and Davis, that and Davis. Davis is playing where? Oh, he's playing in Miami. Oh, and you're still here? Oh, what's the home life like? Because to the public, they're putting up this perception that no divorce is coming along. It's not imminent because they have business deals together. So they have to make sure everything stays copacetic. And remember, the Queen Sugar Mill, the funding for that was with the support of Davis's name. So that's another reason why Charlie and Davis agreed to keep things PQ, because if they don't, then all of their business opportunities could get messed up, which is messed up within itself. But this guy was really trying to pry. He was really trying to see if Charlie was going to crack. She was saying she was doing this on the behalf of her father because her father died. And he didn't like that. He felt like she was being fake. She wasn't being honest. She wasn't being real. And I looked at this like, Charlie, you have to watch this one because he's going to get something on you. He's going to get something on you. Next thing we know, we see Hollywood talking to Aunt Vi, and she's in the kitchen cooking. He got her supplies. They're making some stuff for the church ladies, and they're gonna spike it. They're gonna spike it with some alcohol because that's what the church ladies want. And everything seems to be going well, but Aunt Vi doesn't want to go and visit her brother because she's like, look, we already buried him once. Why do I need to go back again? Why? When Nova goes and she does her research on who Shadow Enterprises is, she finds out that they were the temping agency. They didn't know that he died. They just were like, oh, okay, it was weird that someone so responsible would all of a sudden not show up to work. So they kept his stuff and they just sent him his check. And Nova finds out that he was a janitor. And the reason why that was so heartbreaking for her, because I know some people are going to be like, why was that so heartbreaking? It was because this man was working on the farm. The farm was failing. He didn't let anyone really know how bad things were. So then to pick up the financial slack from that, he took a nighttime job as a janitor. So he really did die because of the stress of having to do everything on his own. And I think that it hit Nova because she lived close enough to where if she really wanted to, she could have helped out with the farm. It doesn't mean it will have turned a profit because the farm had so many issues. But if the family came together for what they're doing now, at least the farm would have been in a better state then. Not saying that the father still wouldn't have gotten sick, because you can't truly foresee stuff like that. And I think that's something that a lot of people need to understand. That's the reason why Nova and Charlie are upset. It's not really anyone else, it's them. They're the ones that weren't there for their father in his time of need, whether they realized it was really his time of need or if they thought, oh, he just wanted his daughters around. Now, Charlie's walking with Remy along with the reporter, trying to say how we have everything going with the mill. He says, that's cute, that's great, but what's your two relationship? I was like, oh, well, we met. How'd you meet? We met because of her father. He was a close friend of mine. Oh, okay. So you're more so like brother and sister, right? Yeah, that sucks. That sucked. I know that hurt Remy because to the public, again, no one knows that Charlie is. And this is what she tells Remy later on. She has to keep up appearances, and she also wants to take time out for herself instead of jumping back into the fray of being in a full-blown relationship. While Ralph Angel decides he wants to go and take Blue out, he goes to this corner store, and it's the same woman. It's the same woman who he robbed when the season in season 1. And we knew that that was going to come back because everything comes back. We don't know what will happen in the future, but she was like, hey, you need to take responsibility. Well, it was you. It was you. Yeah, I know it was you. And when he put the money down, she got scared because she thought maybe he was going to rob her again. But he ran out there with Blue, and we'll see how that comes into play a little bit later. Darla is so flustered because she's never had this type of responsibility before that it's just too much for her. So she spills coffee on herself by accident. It happened by accident. Now, Charlie is again finishing up her conversation with the news reporter, not news reporter, with the, what did I call him? The reporter. We'll just call him a reporter. And he's still grilling. He's still trying to see what's your real angle, because you are this high-powered LA power couple with you and your husband, and you were making business moves, and then you came out here where no one knows you or necessarily respects you to do what? Really? For your father? He was really trying to find the other angle. And I said, no, we're not doing this today. Charlie was really trying to paint the picture that, yes, it's for my father. Yes, it's for my father. But he gets the guy out of there because Darla comes in. Originally, I thought she did that on purpose, but no, it really was a call. Like, you have business on line 1. So it's like, oh, of course I have to take this. Bye. Darla gets told by Charlie, you can go and get something. Don't worry. This is a big event. You shouldn't have to go looking like that. Get something, whatever you want, just pick it out. Now, I was freaking out because Ashley said the same thing I was thinking. It's messed up. The first thought I had was, oh, Lord Jesus, please don't let her steal from this woman. Please don't let her steal from this woman. Please don't let her steal from this woman. But she didn't. She didn't. She was just looking at this really nice dress, and she remembered she's not used to having all these nice things for herself in a while. Her family, I feel like they came from means, but she fell off the wagon, so she hasn't had access to all the high society things. And I don't think she really wants that. It's just like everyone else. A touch of this, a touch of that. Now, while she's fantasizing about this dress, Micah comes in because he has to go and get dressed. And she helps Micah out with his tie. And she said she had to do it for her date who took her to the cotillion. I'm thinking, you little high society. You little high society, you. Look at you, Darla. Look at you. But again, Charlie, this guy still wants the angle from her, and it's really starting to irritate me. I'm like, Charlie, we need to stop this because this isn't helping you out. This guy's going to paint a certain picture about you. I already see it coming. And for any of you who are wondering what I was looking at, ta-da! Now, everyone's starting to come there. She gets these flowers. These flowers look really nice. Who are they from? The Landons. She thought it was from her mom. She thought, oh, maybe my mom ate this for most of the day, but even on my special days, she would give me something. No, those from the Landons. I don't know what they did with the flowers, but I would have said, let's burn these because we can't trust them. We can't trust them at all. At all. Things take a turn. This is where you know the episode's about to take a major turn in arc. Because Nova comes in and she talks to Ralph Angel, and we're going to call him Proctor. I'm not sure if that's really his name or not, but you know, Ernest is his close friend and friend to the family. Nova starts breaking down because she said, did you know that our daddy was a janitor? He was moonlighting as a janitor to help bring in a second income because the farm was failing. And that's what aided in killing him. And Ralph Angel, he gets emotional. The family friend gets emotional. And it's just too much. It's just too much. And I said, no, this is not good. This is not how we want things to go. Next thing we know, we're seeing Charlie. She's going and giving this rebel-rousing speech about how she's doing this on the behalf of her father and her family because this is what he wanted, to give the people of this land an opportunity to, make a living and do it with their own people. And like I said, it's about family, it's about unity. So she has the mayor there, she has a councilman there, they all cut the ribbon, they get things going, and it's all ready to go. Everyone's excited, everyone's happy for her. Now, and she even brings up, everyone comes to bring in what their special crop is that they'll be contributing to the mill. Now, things take a turn because next thing we know, while this party's going on, Ralph Angel, being Ralph Angel, he sees this dress and he says, oh, because he knows that's one of Charlie's dresses. He was like, so first, now you're working for her, now you're dressing like her, what next? I'm thinking, Ralph Angel, if you were in a better situation, she wouldn't even have to go and do all this stuff. She has to do this stuff for her anyway, but you need to stop that. That's the little pettiness and selfishness. She's having a hard time, a hard day, and she's trying to be strong, and you just nitpicking, nitpicking, nitpicking. Stop it. Now, next thing we know, we hear this large sound, and it's this alarm. Apparently, there was a choke. What that means is the, the stuff from the pipeline, as in the sugar cane, any of the crops that were in there, there was a bottleneck. So then it was choking the system. So that alarm sounds off because you shut off the power to that unit. It might be self-automated for them. So it's already off, but now they have the technicians there to go and manually remove all of the product instead of it just naturally coming out. And that freaks Charlie out because she's like, oh my God, everyone is in the other room, because she ran into that room along with Darla to see what was going on. And then she bugged out. She told the technician, go away. And she started taking, unclogging it herself. And she did like a mad person. And we felt bad because we're like, oh no, this is the control freak losing control. This is a control freak losing control. What is she going to do? What is she going to do? And Nova just embraces her. It's like, okay, to calm her down, because Nova's the older sister. She gets Charlie's the middle child, which makes so much sense. Sits her over there. It's just like, wait a minute, what's going on? So then this is when we find out that Charlie felt guilty that she didn't go and help their father out when he was like, I need you. Because remember, it was before he really got sick, where she was like, he wanted her to come down. She said, oh, no. He didn't ask her because he needed help. He wasn't asking her for help, but he was just saying he wanted to see his daughter. But she kind of brushed him off. And then when the stuff was going on with Davis, she didn't get there until it was too late and he was already gone. But this is when Nova steps in and says, look, I haven't spoken to our father in years. I mean, I'm not going to say years. I don't remember the last time I spoke to our father. I'm thinking, you're 10, 20 miles down the road. Now, that's the backstory I want to know. What happened for his children, except for Ralph Angel, to flock off and not even really contact him? There must have been something. So we're going to learn more about that. Aside from them having different mothers, there's something else. They both felt guilty about that. Charlie appreciated hearing that because it's like, oh wow, so I'm not the only one who feels guilty and messed up. But Charlie doesn't know yet that her father was a janitor and was moonlighting as a janitor. That'll blow up a little bit later in the episode. Nova goes over to Micah, because Micah's just like, wow, I've never seen her freak out like that. It's just like, she's a lot going on. Just let her chill. Now, I knew that pesky reporter was there watching. That's why we can't have someone like him there. He's not even a weak link. He's one of those people that'll sell you out in a second. You can't let someone like him stay around in the shadows. You can't. So now Charlie, she goes back out with the, she reapplied her makeup. She did everything she needed to do. And what ended up happening is the reporter said flat out, wow, so it was crazy what happened back there. You okay? She's like, You saw that? And he said, yeah, but that's the honest story. I said, what? Yeah, that's what I want to report about. The other side to you. You wanted everything to go perfectly for your father to control a sense of purpose, power, but you're still human. Now, we know Charlie does not like that. She looked at him like, you might as well call me a bee. How dare you say something like that? I am excellence. I'm not perfection, but I'm excellence. Anything less is mediocrity. Why are you going to come down for me like that? Now, because of that, he said, that's why I want to report. She told him, if you don't report that, I'll give you something else. He looked at her like, what? I'll give you the exclusive story on when Davis and I get a divorce. Oh, God. This is just so messy. This is so messy and so messed up. He looked at her like, okay. Now, I didn't trust him. I don't trust him at all. But I guess that's what we're going to have to deal with. So now everything is done. Everyone's gone home. Darla is there at Charlie's. And they're just having the conversation how, regardless of what happened with the choke, everything else was cool. It was a lot of work, but it was productive. And Charlie appreciated the fact that Darla was there. Darla appreciated the fact that Charlie helped her out with the clothes. He's like, don't worry about it. I have your back. You have mine. I appreciate you. Charlie wanted to celebrate, and she, not thinking, brought 2 glasses and alcohol and looked at Darla and realized, oh, I'm so sorry. I wasn't trying to. And it's like, no, I understand. It's like, iced tea? Yeah. Okay, great. But Darla said, you know, you've really helped me with this job, and I honestly didn't know what I was going to do if I didn't get this. And I thought, oh, Lord. So you don't know how much you helped me, and with my, and honestly watching out for me, I'm coming up 2 years sober, and I'm going to have this little party, this celebration. I would love to invite you if you're interested in coming. Well, I'm inviting you. Would you be able to come? And she said, of course. Of course. Now, I don't know if I don't know if that's still going to happen after I tell you what happened at the end of this episode, but I'm glad they have each other because Charlie was just saying how, you know what, my mom, she cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and Darla said, well, yeah, that's how my dad is. So trust me, I understand how it feels to not feel balanced when it comes to parents and all of that. Now, they go to the funeral arrangement, and the only thing that really happened there of note, aside from the ceremony, which was beautiful, it wasn't a funeral arrangement, but they went there to pay their respects. Blue dropped Kenya and Keisha, whatever her name is, the doll. Blue dropped the doll, and he looked at her like, huh? I looked at him like, what? Because he didn't even pick her up. I said, wait a minute. At the time, I thought, does he feel like he doesn't need it anymore? And why now? So then we get into the house, and Ralph Angel hears Blue, you know, kind of halfway crying. It's more so a whimper. And he realizes Blue is hiding behind the curtain. What are you doing? This isn't Kenya. I was like, oh my God. What? No, she has a birthmark. I gave her a birthmark, you know, on her butt. It's not there. This isn't Kenya. Oh God. What happened to her? Well, she got thrown out. What? Yeah, she got thrown out, and so we went and got you a new one. Why? Did I do something wrong? Did she do something wrong? I was like, no. And then he embraces his baby. This is like, no, I'm sorry. And it was just like, yeah. And why was that girl, why was she mean to us today? Or why was she freaking out, whatever? It's like, well, you know, this is because I did some lying in my past, and I'm not going to do that anymore. When he said that, I said, no. We all sin. It's all about asking for forgiveness every day, and also at the very end. There's some things that don't need to be said. So now everyone's at the table. Ralph Angel sits down, and they ask him to bless the table. He doesn't do it initially, and I'm thinking, Lord, maybe we shouldn't have had that. Maybe Aunt Vi should have just let him be, because he goes and he starts, and then he kind of talks about his father and how he's a good man. He wants to be more like him every day, and he's going to try and start now. So that's when he tells them about, and Aunt Vi had the look of, will you do it? No, we're not doing that today. Not doing what? Pa left me something. He left me this letter. It was, a will and testament, an advanced version, and it essentially said that the farm goes to me. Oh! Mouths dropped. Faces dropped. Spirits dropped. You would have thought that he was cursing them out for days and nights and that everyone was about to die in that room in 5 seconds. Because this is like, what? And Charlie's like, wait a minute. So you took my money, used my money for your farm? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Nova's pissed too. It's like, Dad worked as a janitor. And this is when everyone else finds out, because almost no one else knew that. So then they all start crying, freaking out, like, oh my God. And you're telling me that he did 2 jobs, the farm wasn't doing too well, and he leaves it to you because you were the one that had the false start, got into trouble, and he wanted to leave you something? Are you kidding me? I said, hold up now. We're not doing this. Now I understand why Charlie felt a certain way about the money thing, because with her it's about trust, and she's like, so you let me invest all of this into the farm, something that's legally not mine. First of all, people, Ralph Angel could have always just added your names on. I mean, let's be real. This is business at the end of the day. Your family members. He could have easily said, okay, all of us will have the equal share as it should have been. But you jumped on him. So now, not only does he feel attacked, and they're trying to go after Aunt Vi. She's like, I knew, but I just found out. Remember, Darla knew from the jump. So I don't know how Charlie and Darla's relationship is going to be going forward, and her job security and all of that. But I said, no. Ernest left it to Ralph Angel because we find out, Nova, that you haven't talked to your father in a long time. And by the time you got to the hospital, he couldn't even speak anymore. So you didn't even know what he wanted to tell you. And then Charlie, you kept ignoring your father. So of course he's going to leave it to his son, who's at least there. Even though he's a screw-up, he's still there, tilling the land, putting some effort into it. Are we going to pretend like we forgot that both of you were open to selling the land, and Ralph Angel said, no, we need to work this, we need to keep this, is what Pa wanted, this for the family? Come on now. So now you finally feel invested into it. You finally feel like you got somewhere family-wise, and now Ralph Angel's telling you something that's not his fault. That's not his fault, but because both of you are in your feelings about information you found about your father, and also come to a realization that you both messed up as daughters, you try and blame it on your younger brother. And he's like, oh, so I'm the screw up. I get you. See me as a screw up who still gets whatever he wants because he's the baby of the family. It really hurts though. And at first I was gonna go in on Ralph Angel, but after I thought about it, and especially after Ashley Miller's review, I said, wait a minute. And that's when things started to churn, and information I was forgetting was coming out. At that time when Ernest called Charlie before he really got sick, and Charlie was at her house, was like, oh no, Dad, no, I love you too, but she wasn't going. And then with Nova, her dealing with her white dudes and her married white dude, and she's supposed to be mother of the earth, and even though she wasn't tilling the earth that her family owned, and them willing to sell the land, and then they eventually found out that their family had to die over it, and they were actually slaves on it and bought that land. Trash. You're trying to shirk your accountability onto your younger brother. I'm not having it. Please like, comment, subscribe.